What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Abyssus. This is a game that's a chip off the block of anything that you've ever played, like Gunfire Reborn or RoboQuest. I think those are actually really good cultural touchstones right there for gaming. If you wanted to know exactly what this game is, it's an arena roguelike where you are a guy in a Big Daddy suit that's gone down into a dungeon with high-powered weaponry in order to slay a blood god. I don't know why a blood god lives inside of a giant water labyrinth. I haven't gotten to the bottom of that just yet, but I assume it's the same reason that any of us live anywhere. It's just that you rent where you can afford, man. Blood godding, it doesn't bring in the paychecks like it used to. It's not really getting the old retirement fund all nice and fleshed out. And so today we're going to take a look at the game for about 30 minutes. We're going to see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or if it's one of those games that you would rather pass on. I've got a link for you down below where you can find the playtest for this game. That's what I'm playing right this second. It's just a playtest that's open to the public. You apply for it, and it should, if it does the same thing for you that it did for me, it'll just instantaneously let you on into the playtest, and then from there you can also find links to my Discord, to my Twitch stream, to all that kind of fun stuff down below. And you'll be able to find things like my Steam Curator and other things that allow you to support the Nerd Castle in perpetuity. But let's give Abyssus a shot. These are more or less my first impressions. I've done about 3 runs prior to this. But as mentioned, Abyssus is a roguelike. You go down into a dungeon with a big gun and a chip on your shoulder, attempting to kill as many nasty, crusty, corrupted robots as you possibly can. It comes strapped with weaponized achievements. It's got modifiable guns and abilities and things that you can play around with. Given the fact that I've only played the game for like an hour and a half, I haven't unlocked most of them. Also, going through the achievement list, it looks like a big chunk of the achievements are actually pretty difficult to pull off as well. Like, you need to have a really solid setup to do some of them. And as you do that, you're going to unlock new mods for your guns that you can add on in that allow them to perform in different ways. That's a blessing altar. But as it stands right now, there's 6 or 7 guns inside the confines of the game where we're sitting right now. There's a minigun, there's a shotgun, there's a plasma thrower, there's a disc thrower, there's a bow, there's a Tesla coil, and there's a revolver. I think are all the guns that I've played around with while going through the game. And then from there, every single gun has a primary fire on your left click. So there you go, that's my left click. And then every single gun has a secondary fire that kind of swaps up the equation and makes it do something different. So my secondary fire makes me mag dump with the damn thing, and it also does not cost me any of my ammunition. I actually just noticed that little feature, so I think I might be able to pull off an achievement here if I'm smart about it. I have to kill 15 enemies without reloading in order to unlock a new mod for this gun, and so I may give that a go by playing maybe only a room or 2 with my right click and just watching my overheat while we go through. There we go. I just buffed up my right click anyways with a new blessing. You get blessings every few rooms that allow you to add elemental affinities and other fun stuff to your firearm in order to give you extra effects. So right now I'm firing incendiary rounds out of my right click, and it's going exceptionally well. I'm causing all kinds of mayhem and death on the enemy, but your left click and your right click are customizable in this game after you've done the achievements that allow you to customize them. There's also hidden stuff inside these levels over here. There's one right there. That right there is a hidden coin. I think it gives me money. I think. It's the only thing that I've found so far. There's also like hidden braziers and 1 or 2 other things that I saw in the achievements that it wants you to do inside the dungeon, but I haven't found it just yet. So far, I found the gameplay to be silky smooth. I've had no problems with chuggies, all stable frame rates, and I feel like the game looks pretty good for what it is. The developers have shown that they know how to get their saturation levels right, their alpha levels right, their lightness levels right, and this is one of those things that has come up in the world of indie gaming where there's a lot of games out there right now that don't know how to properly brightness and contrast balance their visuals, and honestly it makes the entire game feel cheap when they don't do it properly. And this is one of the few games that's got the saturation right exactly where it needs to go in order for the game world to look kind of soaked in just like color without being over the top and becoming kind of reshade blinding like some players have when they play games. Let's carry on into the next room, and I'm going to see if I can get the new unlock for this gun if I can play this well enough. Some rooms are going to have an objective, so this room wants me to destroy pylons. Be forewarned, though, whenever... Hey, there it is. I got Gatling fire, which should be like a new type of primary, maybe. That might be kind of sick. Light him on fire? Yeah. Now I'm allowed to reload again because I've done my achievement. We can reload. All right, and I can go back to using my primary fire. I'm going to try to keep myself kind of set up here, though. A loot golem has appeared. That's also new. I've never seen that. Where's the loot golem? I don't see him. Oh well, there goes our last pylon. You do have other abilities as well. You've got like a grenade. You can swap that out after doing achievements for other things. This game is meant to be played in co-op. I don't know how many players can play it, but you've got like character customization as well with helmets and bodysuits and things of that nature. So I'm guessing those are going to be rewards for making it further onto the game as well. But for right now, all of the standard Destiny-style stuff that you would expect is here for special abilities. I've got the grenade for right now because I haven't unlocked anything else, but it looks like there's a shield. It looks like there's some other stuff that you can play around with. Ooh, a blessing. Nice. Let's go aspect of blood, I guess. Will be blood and fire. Blood fire. That sounds like a sick name for like a heavy metal. Just blood fire. I mean, if I was making a heavy metal band, Bloodfire's a sick. Think of the album cover possibilities, dude. Get like Carpet Crawler to do it for you, dude. Ugh. That would be a banger right there. That's already 90% of making a band, is just naming it something awesome and having cool album art. Your primary fire gets 15% more damage and a 20% chance to cause hemorrhage. Okay, your ability does 15% additional damage, and okay, we'll go with the primary since I haven't been throwing a lot of grenades. I'll wait till I find something more beautiful for my grenades to go through. But as I was saying previously, the presentation aspects of the game all seem to be pretty well reasonably assembled. I like the way the game looks. I like the way the game feels. When it comes to gunshot sounds, some of the guns are better than others. All of the guns are animated very, very well. However, some of the guns do not quite have the punchy, plosive, sort of gunfire clack that I would like to hear. On top of that, you've also got a problem where it's really hard to check how much ammo you still have left in the magazine. I would definitely recommend, because they've got that tiny little tooltip down there in the bottom left that tells you how much ammo you've got left. I would actually recommend that every gun in the game have like a visual indicator on the gun of how much ammo. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? What are we doing over here? Yeah, that thing right there, my number one source of lost health, those little spinny disc guys, they have like 500% movement speed, and they just rock up on you, and you just take damage from being inside their radius. And since the game doesn't really provide you with a lot of tangible ways to heal outside of my other ability, which is medical syringes, unfortunately, those guys are usually my run-enders, those little spinning top dreidel lasers. That'd be another badass metal band name, Dreidel Laser. That'd be a sick name too. Charge all of the pylons. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to die first. You gotta go first. Those little spinny guys are the worst. And if you can't hit critical hits on them, dude, they just eat you alive. Let's drop down in here and charge up this pylon. I do think that a lot of the UI looks a little bit cheap in this game. It's got kind of like a cheap font, cheap looking meters. Lots of things that are out of sync with the artistic style and the overall unified design that the game is going for. I hate these robots, dude. I hate them so much. They always hit me. I can't get around them. I don't know why. I haven't figured out an effective strategy for dealing with them yet. I tried bonking them with my melee because you've got like a melee wrench bonk that stuns probably about 80% of the mobs in the game, but the bonk does not work on him. I've tried dodging him. He's like faster than my dodge. I've tried going aerial with it. I've tried jumping off of stuff and forcing him to path around, but he launches off after you at the same time. Those little spinny disc dudes are a problem. They definitely deplete your health quite a bit, and since hemorrhage is dealing damage, I think based on our overall HP, whether it's up or down, I don't really know, but you can see the little red lasers coming off of our guns and hitting those guys right there. That's the hemorrhage, just giving us this occasional little extra tick of damage while we're going up against them, which is going to be good because the enemy's health goes up chunky style once you start getting to new maps and things. But yeah, the overall UI needs better fonts, needs better art design to bring it into congruity, I guess, with the rest of the game's design, which is very much sort of like Cthulhu meets BioShock at the bottom of the ocean. As of yet, I have not found a single key the entire time playing this game, but I see locked chests all the time. I gotta figure out where the keys are coming from. Are there any of the spinny top guys? They're priority number one, so if there's spinny top guys around, they need to go. Get him lit up. Gotta reload real quick. Got you. Got you a little bit. Got you. You looking kind of cranky, Mike. He tried to suicide bomb me, dude. He tried to suicide bomb me. Environments do have destructible stuff like pots, which I'm a big fan of. I don't know that I've seen anything fall out of a pot just yet. I've been destroying them obsessively just because I love destroying pots in video games. It's one of these weird, strange addictions, like alcoholism. I just can't stop doing it. It's an illness. I'm sick. I need recovery. Oop, there's a coin right there. There we go. Get that hidden coin real quick. Another blessing? You spoil me. Well, we've already got fire and we've got blood, so maybe we'll re-roll this one. Hey, there's another fire one right there. Damaging effects occur 5% faster for each time the enemy has flared. An enemy on fire has a chance to flare when they take damage, causing additional damage and increasing the fire damage taken over time. Weak spot points to enemies that are on fire is increased. Okay, I'll take the weak spot damage. In case you were wondering, the weak spot on all these little guys, shocker, it's the red crystal. So, like, if you can hit the red crystal while cruising around and beefing with these little jabronis, you will get a bonus for that. I'm just gonna lay into him as much as possible. I will occasionally shoot at one of these other little dudes, but for now, I want to focus on the boss, because in focusing on the boss, he said as he swapped targets, and focusing upon the boss, they all die once the boss is dead, and so I'm gonna focus on lighting them on fire, getting my damage bonus, maybe dodging that enormous death ray that he's decided to vent in my direction. I would rather not, but hey, what can you do? I missed with my grenade too. Maybe right there. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of you guys in here, huh? Just overheat the gun real quick. Let's swap up on them. I'm gonna go with the other rotational direction, circle kiting, man. Has video game ever invented anything as addictive? Circle strafing. It fixes every problem. This guy's going to give us a loot explosion, so we get a bunch of gold, and we've got a gold converter. Health pickups do not restore your health, but they give half the healing value in gold instead. This will include healing shrines. Don't want that. I would like an option, though, to break this right here and get a bunch of money for breaking it. So we got 50 more HP back. We've got a Rune of Vitality to increase the size of our HP meter. That all sounds doable, livable, acceptable to me. And then I kind of want to take a look around and see if I can find anything around here. Nothing in there from what I can see, unless there's like secret walls or something that I can bust my way into. Nope, bounced off the wall right there. What about over there? I mean, that pot got absolutely shredded. He had it coming, though. He didn't pay his taxes. He likes to drink and drive. He was no angel. So I guess through the giant fun time gate we go. Let's have a look and see what we've got going on over here. Depth 4. Hopefully my damage is on par. Sorry, I was running from my life from a buzzsaw disc. I'm going to jump over that. You can dash in midair, which is a really nice feature. Got him with the nade. That's what's up. I need to get some kind of mod on my grenade to make it stronger. Am I supposed to be activating something or doing something in here? Sir, would you like to die, please? Thank you. Got you. Got you. All right, who else is down in here? Yup, let's light you up a little bit and just give you a little bit of the old scuffies. Oof, I got blasted. What I got blasted by, I don't know, but I got blasted by something. This room is not playing. Man, there's like no end to these little dudes, are there? You. Yeah, get shot in the face. How's that? You enjoy being riddled with bullets? Because being riddled with bullets is absolutely what you're gonna get from me. I've got a minigun, and I know how to use it. There's one fundamental rule of gaming, and that's that every single video game should have a minigun. I've said this before. I'll say it again, because I don't care about the repetition. I believe this firmly. New charm right there, too. Maybe throw some grenades in there and just kind of see if we fish out any hits. Man, this room is kind of long in duration compared to the others. But there are games with miniguns, and there are games without miniguns, and they are reviewed by separate criteria. For example, every single game that does not have a minigun gets an F-. It doesn't matter the game that you're trying to play. So, for example, Harvest Moon, it'd be a better game with a minigun. Dwarf Romantic, it'd be a better game with a minigun. Baldur's Gate 3, far superior game if it had a minigun in it. It's already pretty close to a perfect game, except that it has no minigun, -1 point. And that's how I live my life. If there's a minigun, I'm going to pick that minigun. However, there is a really satisfying Tesla coil you can play the game with as well. Is that the last of them? Because that was a long-ass room, dude. That took forever. Where was that chest at? I saw, like, gold inside of it. Yeah, give me that money right there. Let me get some of that money cheddar paper stack. Another arena over here. Oh, they already closed the door on me. I don't want to go to this scary nautical room where everything's trying to murder me. That pot has something in it. I seen it. I swear to God, they're like impossible to get away from, dude. I think it's because, like, they need to get rid of the turning ability that it has. It's got, like, a wheel radius while it's charging you. I think if it charged in a straight line, they'd be tolerable because you could kind of dip behind cover or whatever to get away from them. But yeah, those little twirly ball guys, man, they are a nightmare. Who's chasing me right now? You? Oh, another twirly ball thing. Kill the twirly ball. There we go. Twirly ball is dead. Ugh, let me get a med syringe real fast. So far, I've been pretty happy with all of the designs of the animations. I don't know who's making this game, but it's very, very clear that they know their way around animating a game. I wouldn't be surprised if they worked for some larger company beforehand in order to make that happen, because some of the animation flourishes and whatnot are exceptionally good. What are you trying to do? You're just trying to, like, AoE me? I missed with all of those grenades. It's a crying shame. This guy's weak point is on his back, in case you were wondering, and getting around behind him can be a little bit of a pain. I saw a pot that had a glow to it, and it was the first pot that I've ever seen that glowed. Where was that? I saw it while I was strafing for my life around the room. Well, I found a hidden coin up there, so that'll do. Maybe the pots glow during combat, and you're supposed to shoot them while you're engaged with the enemy. That would actually be interesting and compelling. I like that idea. I hope that's how it works. If that is actually how it works, that's a really, really good sort of ADD hyper-stimulus idea. But having gotten everything from these rooms, let's move on to the next one and see if they give us anything interesting to play around with here. See if there's anything beautiful to catch our attention. There's a gold pot right there. Ooh, it dropped coins. Nice, dude. Okay. Oh, it's you again. Oh, there's 2 of them? There's 3 of them. Oh, we did. Oh, I fell down a pit. I thought I could get away from him. I was wrong. Just keep throwing grenades at him, man. I don't know how you survive a deluge of these things. I haven't gotten that far. It looks like they power down after they spin up. Maybe I'm supposed to, like, jump across over to here and actually use some of the movement shooter aspects of the game in order to be evasive. That does seem to be an effective counter, but not every room has that, so we're going to have to play around with it and keep our eyes out. There's still some enemies left. I'm going to go check pots real quick and make sure nothing's glowing, because now I'm super curious about how I get keys. They just gave me one in the tutorial. It was just like laying on the ground, but I haven't found one ever since, and so I'm guessing it's the glowing pots during combat or whatever might have a key inside of them. We good here? Give me that money. If I ever find a shop again, we'll be in good shape. Health is looking somewhat okay, but I'd like it to look a little bit better. Then again, I guess we already have a charm, but it only works when we're at full health, so let's see. An aspect of spirit grants you the power to control spirits and have them attack your enemies. Well, I kind of have to go for that. So your ability, so throwing a grenade does 15% more damage and will charge the spirit gauge. Increase damage to enemies with low health for every spirit blessing. So those have kind of like an overall unified thing that they do for your run as well. You're not just getting the bonus, you're also getting some kind of additive extra bonus. Yeah, I haven't found a key yet. I don't know where they're hiding at. They gotta be in those gold pots that show up sometimes when you're mid-combat. Another enemy room. What do we got in here? Oh, yeah, he looks threatening. Oh, it's a her. It's like a mech suit. Cool. I wish I had a giant subterranean mech suit. My life would be so sick if I had that, dude. I would be so much happier. Let's charge the spirit gauge. Are those mortar spots or like what? Oh, God. Okay, I was looking at the spots on the ground. You caught me slipping. You caught me lacking when it was cracking, unfortunately. Get out of the way of that for sure. Charge up my spirit gauge again with an extra grenade. And there we go. Oh, I'm attacking the enemy with the power of my spirits. It was only for like a couple of shots, though. This guy's got a tanky health bar, dude. An exceptionally tanky health bar. But he hasn't summoned ads or anything else, which is nice. So do I shoot it in the cockpit? Literally, in this case, or do I shoot it in the top? Or like the canopy? It's hard to say. I think I can shoot... Oh, he's doing a thing. What is he doing? Ah, an ad phase. Oh, there's a pylon. I gotta destroy the pylon. So he's electrifying ground. Yep, lots of electrified ground around. And unfortunately, my FOV is so tight that I can't really see it. So I may have to adjust that after this run. Oh my God, we are getting torpedoed right now. Oh, I died. Kind of an underwhelming death animation too. Looks very, very cheap and lackadaisical. They're gonna want to get that like punched up as well to make it more interesting. But we did get some achievements. We can now return to the lobby and we can see what that did for our firearm. This is the lobby where you can group up with friends before you go in for a run. It's got like a target range over on this side where you can test out guns and play around with them. This is the loadout menu right here, and I think I got something new. Yeah, I got Gatling fire. Increases fire rate the longer you shoot. And it does change the way that the barrel looks too, so I do dig that. I haven't gotten any of the secondaries yet, so I gotta look up and I gotta see what the achievements are to get these other secondaries. One thing I would say is it'd be more interesting if these things came up during the run while you were playing the game and modified the gun to look different and buck different and have different furniture and hardware on it while you were actually playing the game. And that would bring it more into alignment with this game's competition, which is fairly stiff. There's a lot of these games out there like Mother Gunship or like RoboQuest or like Gunfire Reborn. Ooh, it also increases my ammo capacity. Okay. I can see that being something. You also get the spirit shards or soul fragments every single time you do a run. You can apply them. Most of the stuff in here is pretty boring and predictable, though. It's things like you deal more damage. You get more health back when you syringe yourself. However, there is an interesting one over here called an Ancient Forge that allows you to upgrade your weapons and abilities during your runs. And so that might actually be a good solution for the lack of DPS that I've been feeling as I get further on into the game, like being unable to keep up with the way that the enemy is hitting me. We'll do a different gun. I'll take the Tesla, I like the Tesla gun. All right, all the achievements for this guy are like stack up a bunch of chain lightning mods and hit 10 enemies at once and things like that with one of your primary fires. So I figured we could give that a go. But everything here is customizable. You can fiddle around with your mods. You can change your abilities around if you want to. I haven't gotten that far, so I don't know what the Atlantean cube and all this stuff does in order to function. But it's got your standard basics here. It's got a grenade, it's got a shield, it's got a turret, and then there's an anchor and a cube that I can't really extrapolate what they do because I haven't gotten them yet. But the other stuff, yeah, this current loadout's fine. Let's go back into the dungeon and check it on out, and I'll give you guys my closing thoughts on this title and whether or not it's on the right path to make it to a 1.0 that will be satisfying to the general public and compete on equal terms with all the other games on the market that are kind of doing a similar thing, because there are quite a few of them. I think Abyssus is alright. I don't really see... So my main thing is that I don't see anything here that elevates it above any of the other games in the same genre that are exceptional. But the current build does have some bright spots to look at. The one that I think is most obvious to the eye is just that the animation work, the lighting, the theming of the game's motif, the reload animations, the enemy animations, they all seem to be done really, really well. I think the weaponized achievements that give you new gear and options for the guns if you perform those tasks, those are cool, and they give a little bit of focus to each run because you'll bring a different gun and you'll be keeping in your memory those things you need to do in order to get new gun mods for your primary and your secondary. I haven't seen what the Forge does yet, and so it's difficult to make a final call on the game's randomized depth because the Forge seems like it allows you to upgrade your gun and upgrade your blessings and things like that, and if it lets you do those in branching pathways that make your gun do more interesting things, that's an easy recommendation, but I've been playing for a couple hours and I haven't gotten there yet. But where the game can obviously improve is that the font face, the meters for events, pop-up windows for blessings, message windows, all of that stuff look really, really cheap and utilitarian compared to the rest of the game's visual buffet that's been put out there. The careful environmental and design work that's been done in the game's environments is kind of undone by the cheap menus and the cheap fonts and everything else that are in there. The guns, they do give you a nice variety of things to play around with, many of which you have to unlock though, and the blessings, while simple, do have synergies built in there and interactions that allow you to choose somewhat of a play style as you go through the game, whether it be damage over time, direct hits, charging up meters, that kind of stuff. Areas of improvement as well, hit sounds on enemies could sound chunkier, they react to being hit, and the hits look good, but they don't sound good, and so they could be chunkier, clangier, twangier, if that's even a word considering you're punching holes in armored robots. I think copying the soundscape of a game like Generation Zero would be a good plan. Generation Zero, when it comes to fighting robots, has some of the best feeling shooting robots feel that you can possibly get out of a video game, so I would look to that for some inspiration, along with maybe battle damage and chunks flying off the robots as their health gets lower and scattering around the battlefield. I do think that some of the guns could use their sound effects punched up quite a bit. Some of them are a little bit wispy and they don't sound very good, but other ones are pretty much exactly where they need to be with regards to the sound effects. There's balancing work to be done here. I've noticed that some gun mods are just better than others, but it's a playtest, so I'll go easy on that front since they're in the process of teething right now in order to get things put together. It needs more room types, it needs more layouts, designs, textures, tropes, centerpieces to break up the visual monotony of playing through 4 or 5 levels, each broken into 3 or 5 chambers, all with kind of the same deep sea water cave thing going on with like an Aztec flair. Definitely getting some more mutators on that idea would be a good idea. I liked the objectives that they occasionally sprinkle in there, like powering up pylons or destroying crystals or whatever else, and so all in all, this one's in the middle for me. It's a wait and see. It's a playtest, not a commercial product, so they've got time to fiddle, but I personally don't see the replayability here that you get from a title like Mother Gunship, RoboQuest, Gunfire Reborn. I think of another game, Deadlock. It had kind of the same problem that this game has, where it is a single-gun arena roguelike, where you never get to change your gun during a run, and it didn't feel like it changed enough over the course of the run to keep me interested in the challenges that the game was pitching to me. Because if you really think about it, in a single-gun game, where the character is just some random Big Daddy character in a water suit, the gun is kind of one of the main characters of the game, so it should be interesting and diverse, and it should do crazy things throughout the course of your playthrough, and I just haven't seen that yet, and so they need to work on that. Things do change a little bit with the blessings, and maybe stuff changes once I get the forge unlocked and it says I can upgrade my gun and I can fiddle with things mid-run, but I haven't gotten there yet, and with what I've played in the last 2 hours, it's just not there compared to same genre titles that are endlessly replayable and basically perfect. And so it's not a bad game, it's just up against really, really stiff competition, and there's not really a reason to purchase this game for money versus all the other exceptional games out there that are in like 2.0, 3.0, 1.5 versions that are tearing it up. So my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, it was Abyssus. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Thanks for hanging out with me, and that's all I got for you. Bye, folks.